Funny thing about Naruto, my history with Naruto. Um, you, I don't know why this came to mind, but just another point of ramble, I guess, is that in in my recent walk with Christ, I have been questioning many things, and a lot of those things were though that which I used to enjoy. Of course, one of them being Naruto. And in making this video right here, well, it was a bunch of videos really, but this video, it made me question: should I do this? Shouldn't I just give this thing up, and I don't know, move on to something else that is technically better and brighter? But I see now that it's not exactly something that I should give up. At least, let me choose my words quite carefully. Naruto, I don't know. Look, what I'm just trying to say is, before I made this video, I wanted to be extremely holy, extremely righteous. And I don't necessarily, that hasn't gone anywhere, right? I still want to be holy, still want to be righteous, but I realize that there is a level of, like, over righteousness, over holiness that somebody can seek, and because of that, it can make them more so paralyzed to do anything rather than living in the freedom that they have in Christ. And because of that overly righteousness and over religion, or overly religious thing, it just stifles the amount of enjoyment a person can have. And it's hard for me to put all of my thoughts together on this one, mostly because I didn't even write it down. I'm just, at this point, I'm freestyling. But when it comes to all these things, there's gotta be some kind of balance in how I think, It can't just be this super overly religious thing all the time, because even in that case, that's not how God himself acts. He doesn't act by, the appearance of holiness. He acts by the actual holiness in general, if that makes any sense. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, those people who seem to be righteous, seem to be holiness, they wear the robes and whatnot, they give off the appearance of righteousness and holiness, but they lack the internal cleansing necessary for such a thing to go through. And it's understanding that, it's not by my own hands that I do things anymore, but the Christ that lives inside me. And because of that, I am free from, sin in general. But, it's, like I said, it's kind of difficult to put all my thoughts together on this, but basically what I'm trying to say is, I'm not trying to be overly religious in the things that I enjoy. I understand that a number of times there has to be a line in the sand drawn. Like, I can't just enjoy everything, because everything, there's things out there that'll drag a man to his grave. But I don't know, it's just, this life wasn't meant for me to live in a box. God didn't create me just so he can put me into a box and just have me exist, right? I was created for a purpose, a reason to do something out there in the world. And, because of that, I also have to acknowledge the fact that my past and the things that I have once interacted with and once found enjoyment can help lead me to whatever it is that I was supposed to do. My knee is hurting me. Let's adjust how I'm sitting. So yeah, that was an interesting little detour. I didn't expect to talk about that. What time is it? 1:41 in the morning. I guess this would be as good a place to stop for now. I didn't talk about all the things that I wanted to, talk about, but, that's cool. It's all good. And, I don't know if this will make it into its own video, make it into its own separate video, but, I think something out there that I want to say to anyone who, just enjoys anime, and maybe you were caught up in the same kind of legalistic battle that I was in my own mind, not necessarily in, constantly questioning, is this a sin? Is that a sin? To that person out there that needs help, just know that God will help you. Like that's probably the best thing I can say, right? It's not necessarily that you aren't doing something wrong, because I don't know your life, man. You probably know a good portion of what's right and what's wrong. And getting trapped up in your mind is not helping you in any situation whatsoever. In fact, it's actually doing you more harm than good, because you're probably questioning things that are, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like, it's not even worth your mental capacity. Like, looking back on how I, thought about something like Naruto and whatnot, like, oh man, is watching Naruto a sin? Well, I could be watching better stuff, I will admit to that, especially if we're talking like episode 1 or pre-Chunin exam Naruto. I can definitely be watching something better than that. But at the same time, it's, I don't know, man. It's just not worth your time. Like, really, like, whatever your favorite show is, like Dragon Ball or whatever, it's not even worth your time to think about, and paralyze yourself in thought, in thinking that, is this even worth, is this completely, utterly sanitized to where I can watch this on my walk with Christ? Because, if I'm being completely honest, like 90% of the shows, 90% of the music, 90% of the games, 90% of the everything that is existing on this planet is not ultra sanitized for you to watch. If I'm just being honest. But with that being said, it's also important to realize there's got to be some kind of balance. And in that balance, you also need to realize that, some things you just can't mess with. And there are things that I guess if the one is true, then the opposite is true, that you can mess with it. I don't know. This is mostly just rambling, but I really just hope that, maybe this made sense to someone, that to that person who was struggling with Dragon Ball like I was once upon a time, or Naruto like I was literally days before I decided to make this video and play, that whatchamacallit, just know that it's not worth your time. It's not worth your mental energy. You got so much more important things to worry about than is Anime X, is show that I liked watching once upon a time in my life, ultra sanitized for me to watch. And in most cases, you probably already know that the answer is no, right? Like, you're not asking this if you didn't already have questions in your heart. But in that same manner, I blocked that. I was holding R2, Sasuke, you cheater. In that same thing, just realize that not everything is sanitized in this world, and that's okay to an extent. No, okay, let me fix what I just said. It's not okay to an extent, but you have to realize that you can't always be on full blast. That didn't make much sense. Let me try again. Boy, I really wish it wasn't almost 2 a.m. in the morning and I could think straight. Oh no, man. Just don't sin. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. Naruto ain't the perfect. Sasuke, quit cheating. You know, Naruto ain't a perfect anime. Not something that, you know, is like the #1 thing to watch on your walk with Jesus. But whatchamacallit, it really isn't even worth your time, your mental energy, to go through this thing where you're questioning if your favorite show is the most 100% upright thing that you could be watching with your time, because there's hardly anything in this world. I did not mean to hit a rematch. There's hardly anything in this world that is worth watching, you know, at that level. Even most stuff that is Christian related, it ain't worth watching. Anyways, that's about as good a place as ever to stop. So, I'm gonna stop.